Hello, how are you doing, my friends? Welcome back to Verified Soul and to today's video. As I had promised that this video will speak on the different embassies and how they are doing. That's what I want to do right now. Now, before we digress further, I want to say this. Remember, I told you that from over the years, we've seen the tendency of embassies starting slow, and then towards the middle of the fiscal year, they increase the pace. And therefore, from the current data analysis, we might find embassies performing slightly slower, but considerably well. But as you know, later on during this year, you are expecting to see them pick up speed in terms of interview scheduling. So even up to now, still we are in January, it is so hard to tell the direction of your embassy to some extent, but some have already shown their pace. They are picking up speed, but what we are hoping for is that all the embassies will pick up speed and perform as required for us to meet the quota, the maximum number of visas that are required per every region. So some of the embassies that we shall see are performing poorly, or they have shown those signs of underperforming, we shall advise ourselves to quit that embassy. And by so doing, I'm saying to transfer our cases as early as possible to a better embassy. Because if you don't do that, what you're doing is to risk your chances of getting a visa. So having said that, let us take some few examples, especially of embassies from Africa, because Africa is the region that has over the years failed to meet their quota. Remember that Africa is given some visas around 24,000, and most of the time they have not met that, because within Africa we have about 5 embassies that are supposed to conduct themselves well. They're supposed to schedule enough visas, but they end up not doing that. And by so doing, many visas are transferred to other regions because as Africa region, we cannot meet that target. Sometimes the whole region of Africa is made current to try and see whether those well-performing embassies can get close to that quota. So I hope you've understood what I've talked about. Now, let's take, as per the request of the people, some embassies that we can use as examples. And if we will not come to your embassy, or if we will not handle your embassy, you will follow the same procedure that I'm going to show you and check for your own embassy. Because checking for the embassy will give you the insight about the progress of your embassy and whether you are safe in that embassy or you should consider transferring your case. So let's go together and take few examples. So with us is this website, and it is guidedmein.com. This is our website if you did not know. So just go to your browser and search guidedmein.com. You'll come to this website, and this is what you're going to use because we have several tools here. As you can see, diversity visa tools, and you can see you can analyze your case position and the chances of you getting a DV interview by inserting your case number here. And down here, you can check the performance of your consulate, that is your embassy. So if you put in your embassy here, you'll get a lot of information about your embassy that will help you in your diversity visa process. We have many tools, like for the DV lottery applicants for the DV 2026, they can know the time and the date that they can check for their results. We have 100 days, about 100 days remaining to the DV Lottery 2026 results. Here you can check the US equivalent of your country, the academic level that is equivalent to the United States high school that qualifies you for the DV lottery, and many things. We have many information here. You can see we have a lot of information here that you can access. And then down here you have this button here. If you want to contact me directly, you can use this button here. But today we want to explore this tool. We want to use this tool to check the performance of each embassy. So I will pick several embassy, and with reference to the visa bulletin for September 2024, where we got the total number of selectees per every country for the DV Lottery 2025. So this you get from the visa bulletin by the Department of State. This visa bulletin, you just search visa bulletin and you pick this one, and you come here to the diversity visa. So for the visa bulletin for September, we were provided with this table, and it gave us the total number of selectee per region. So I'll try to focus on those major countries that have a lot of selectees, like Algeria. We have Sudan, and remember Sudan, they go for their interviews in Egypt, that is the Cairo embassy. We have Togo, they take their interviews from Togo Lomé. We also have Egypt itself, and then we have Morocco, you see. Then we have DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. We have Cameroon. We have Kenya here. We also shall pick other countries like Sierra Leone. We have Uganda. We have Tunisia. We have, and many others. We can take some examples. Now, let us start now. Let's start with Algeria. So you just come here, you can either put the country of the embassy or the embassy name itself. Like, for example, you can say Algeria, and then you click on check performance. And as you can see, for Algeria, as up to now, we have a total case number that have been interviewed and scheduled for the interview as 672. And the ready cases, you can see it is 311. These have their 2NLs. We have 318 issued with visa. Those are cases approved. We have 22 that are refused. These 7 in AP have their visas approved as well, so they will join the issued. And then we have the refused under the administrative process 221G as 14. And you can see the approval rate for the Algiers embassy is quite high, 91.81%. And we have the average monthly interviews scheduled as 134. So every month they have around 135 cases scheduled for their interviews. And then we can see the highest case number interviewed so far is AF 14,392, and we have the highest scheduled up to 19,994. So you see, Algiers, as per the total number of selectees they have a very good speed, and they surely will make it. It's very promising to be in Algiers. Remember, Algiers is placed under cap, it means that at some point it will be capped, to be limited in terms of interviews. And it's because it has a very huge concentration of selectees that are concentrated on the low case number regions. That one we discussed in a previous video. So let's go to another one. Let's take Ethiopia. So you come here and then you just put, you can either put Addis Ababa or Ethiopia, whichever works. So you can put Ethiopia and then you click check performance. And you can see Ethiopia Addis Ababa Embassy. So for Addis Ababa Embassy, we have a total of 931 cases, both scheduled, interviewed. And you can see ready cases, those with 2NL, 386 of those. And then already issued 454. And we have 11 refused, 9 visa approved, waiting to be stamped, and they will add on the issued here. And then we have refused 71. And you can see the approval rate is so high, 86%. We have per month, they schedule about 186 cases. Quite an impressive move. And then the highest case number interviewed is 14,684, you can see. And the highest case number scheduled is 18,000, closer to Algeria, the Algiers embassy. Remember that Addis Ababa last DV lottery, DV 2024, really frustrated us because they were not doing it well. They were performing very slowly, but you can see they have really improved, and we hope they will continue with this speed because they have a huge number of selectees, as you can see, to handle. So congratulations to Addis Ababa. So it is safe for now to be in Addis Ababa embassy, as you can tell. So let us take Cotonou. When you check for Cotonou embassy in Benin, you can see the total number of cases is 130. That is the interviewed plus the scheduled. And then you can see the ready ones, those with 2NL, they are 33, 72 already approved, refused 13, and 221G refusal 12. And it has quite a good approval rate, 74%, not as high as those for Addis Ababa and Algeria. And then 26 cases per month scheduled for their interviews. And the highest interviewed so far is 15,118. So AF 15,188 has been interviewed. And those scheduled, the highest case number scheduled with 2NL is up to 20,134. Quite an impressive move. And why am I saying good yet the case numbers here are less? It's because for Benin, if you can see, Benin has no huge number of selectees. You can see just slightly above 1,000. And if you do the math, Benin is performing quite well. So it's safe to be in Benin if you come from the West Africa region. And then let us take the example of Ghana, because Ghana has a huge selectees. It's one of the major countries in terms of DV. So let's go and check for Ghana. The Accra embassy, can just say Ghana, and let us check the performance. So when you check the performance for Ghana, we have total case number of 301, both scheduled and interviewed. And then we see all of them, they are on ready status. They have been scheduled for the interview. Now, as you can see, Accra, Ghana last year was one of the embassies that were very badly off. And as you can see, for now, they have tried to pull up their socks, though not that much, but we can see at least some progress. So Accra, we cannot conclusively say that it's good embassy to be in, especially if you have a high case number that is higher than around 5,000. If you have case number higher than 5,000 in Accra, Ghana, we can't say that you're safe there. You can consider transferring to like Benin and also Togo Lomé, as we shall see. So being in Accra with a high case number upwards of 8,000, 10,000 upwards, you are not that safe as per now. But we are hoping that this sign that they have shown, they are going to increase it because it's not yet that good. So if you are in this embassy, you can consider transferring your case to other West African countries that are performing good. So let's check for Lomé Togo, and then you can see for Lomé Togo they have quite a huge number, that is 2,287 selectees, and let's see how it performs. So Togo, let us see the performance. Lomé Togo, they have a total of 266 scheduled and interviewed cases, 126 ready. 100 of them have already been issued, only 8 refused, and the approval rate is 71%. And then we have 53 scheduled visas per every month, and the highest that has been interviewed is 19,357. And then the highest case number scheduled for the interview is at 21,924. So AF 21,924 has received or is about to receive the 2NL. So Togo, if you compare with the number of cases they have, is performing good. So let us take Kenya, because it's one of the major countries with a lot of selectees, 4,459. So when we check for Nairobi, Kenya, and then you click check, you see we have a case number total of 421, both interviewed and scheduled. We have 22 of them in ready status, having their 2NL. 314 already issued, 34 refused, and then 51 refused under 221G, and the approval rate is 78%, and they schedule 84 cases every month, and the highest interviewed is at 14,065, and those scheduled, the highest is 11,046. Now, as you can tell by the number and the total number of selectees, and also knowing that Kenya also handles cases from Somalia, Uganda, South Sudan, and so on, then it is not in a good position. But remember that it is not badly off, because Nairobi, from the history, we get them to start with this moderate speed and then pick up very highly towards the middle of the year. So Nairobi is not that badly off, though they are not on a good footing. So we expect some improvement, much more. So if you are in the Nairobi embassy, just stay there, because they are not bad, they're doing good, but they need to pull up their socks, and that's what we're hoping for. Towards April, May, June, we hope to see a greater move. And then let us take the example of the DRC Congo. So DRC Congo, Kinshasa. So Kinshasa embassy, total of 296. And then we have 152 ready, 23 issued, 9 of them refused, 5 soon joining the issued. Sorry for the noise. 5 soon joining the issued, and we see approval rate of 20%. So low. And also the performance, 59 cases per month, and the highest interviewed 6,500, and the highest scheduled for the interview as 10,000, you can see that for DRC, they are not doing well as per their performance. And we shall come to discuss this maybe sometimes later. And you shall see that according to history, DRC has not been performing that good, but we need to see some changes. We need to see some increment for this embassy to perform well. So that's how you check for your embassy performance. And remember, it is very important that you check that, because it will help you to know how to salvage your situation if you are on a bad ground in terms of case number. So you can come and just search for your embassy, like for example, Zambian embassy. Let us see Zambia. When you check Lusaka, Zambia, you can see 33 cases, and then all of them are ready. But Zambia is not bad in terms of scheduling interviews, because if you check for Zambia, they have very tiny portion of selectees, 118. So Zambia is not a bad embassy at all. If you take an example of Tanzania, that is the Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. If you take Tanzania, you see only 9 of them scheduled. That is, they are ready for the interview. And when you look at Tanzania, they are at 371. So if you compare the ratio, they are not doing that bad. We can also say the same for Kigali, though Kigali sometimes they try to misbehave. 30 cases scheduled and interviewed, 21 of them ready, 4 issued. Approval rate is quite low, for only 44%, quite low. So sometimes Kigali tend to misbehave. I don't know why, but when you see for Rwanda, they have a huge number compared to the rate at which they are scheduling their visas. So they need to pull up their socks and do according to how they are required to. So we can take Morocco because it's another major country. When you check for Casablanca, Morocco, 687 total of scheduled and interviewed. 397 of those are ready with their 2NLs. Issued is 270, 10 refused, 11 that one. Approval rate of 93%, quite an impressive approval rate. 137 cases per month. Highest interview 12,000 and highest scheduled around 17. So they are not badly off, though not that impressive. But Morocco, they are doing a good job according to this data. So go on and check for yourself. It is guidedmein.com, and then you come to this tool here. You check for your embassy. Remember, you can also check for your case. For example, you can say 2025 AF 16, and then when you check status, you also get a bunch of information. It's a low case number. The region is from Africa, and then it is position 11 out of the total selectees in Africa. And then the status of that is issued. That person has already been given the visa. It is in Nairobi embassy, and then you can see the performance of Nairobi embassy from here. You can see all this information. So it is a very important tool. Together with this, check consulate performance, check the embassy performance. You can use either of these two and you get the information. Plus, remember, this is a blog with a lot of information here. A lot of information. So you can search for whatever, like affidavit, of support, and you see you get a bunch of articles speaking that like that. It comes here. See, you have these articles here. So here is the definition, and then you have all these articles that you can read. So for example, you can read this, and when you click on that, here is a lot of information regarding understanding authors, how to obtain, and everything. So all information you can get here on this website. So let's cap the video at that point. Please check for yourself for the embassy, and if your embassy is notoriously doing bad, then you can consider moving out of that embassy. Move your case out of that embassy to rescue your case, and do it as early as you can. So in the next video, we are going to discuss about transferring your case. So stick around, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tell about it to your friends. Share this video with your friends. Let them know about this information because it's so helpful. Like the video. Let's meet in the next video.